Jim Bradfield. First donation of many for one of my favorite events of the year. Put this towards fighting some of those bonus bosses in Lightning Returns, which is the best Final Fantasy. We have a $5 donation from Akio. This donation goes towards running No Ring Any Percent for Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition. I'll be donating again later, of course, but we need to get that RNG out of here first. Anonymous donates $10. Go get that slime, Broheim. And Giganese donates $75. Nice work, Vitaris. Also loved the run. Nier was one of my favorite games last year. We have a $5 donation from Don Forgo. Happy birthday, dude. Everyone wish Dudu a happy birthday when you see him. He's one who shaved his head for this event.
While we have a minute here, we'll go through a few more donations. We have a $20 donation from LLK that says, "Hey Dragondarch, I don't know anything about Valkyrie profile, but I do know I had to watch your run. I assume this will give me a complete, cohesive summary of the plot, especially the part where every major villain dies in a couple of turns? Good luck on the run. This goes to the All Bosses incentive for Crusader of Century. Come on guys, this game is adorable animal buddies. As your party, equipment, weapons, we got to get this incentive met." And also, we are RPG Limit Break 2018, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah. We're raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which was formed in 1979 as the grassroots advocacy organization by a group of parents whose very children suffered with serious mental illnesses. And NAMI has definitely maintained that focus to this day. While we have another quick minute here, we have a $7.50 donation from Plazatron. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. As we continue getting setting up here, for those of you that are watching, we still have some incentives moving forward for Shadows of Adam, Breath of Fire, Crusader of Century. If you guys want to get those incentives met, now would be a great time to start knocking them out, guys. So, appreciate it. Don't worry, guys. There will be more speedrunning action. We're just having a nice grand old time here in Salt Lake right now. We figured, you know, we'd wow you with a rendition of Behind the Scenes at RPG Limit Break, starring Vuligin, who's currently not on camera. Oh, Vuligin's hands. Tell. While we have a few more moments here, we have a $25 donation from Anonymous that says, First RPG Limit Break. Liking what I see so far. Keep up the good work, everyone. We also have a $5 donation from Dewey Padrick. It says, Hey, if it isn't one of my favorite runners accompanied by one of my favorite people to carry my worthless carcass through a smite match. Have fun on the run today. Darch, this donation goes to Runner's Choice. We have a $20 donation from Anonymous as well that says, This is my first of several donations to come from various incentives. Mental health is so important to me as I've struggled with it my whole life. Good luck to all runners. Love you guys. We love you too. Speaking of LOK earlier and that awesome donation, thank you again. We would like to give some love out to our community artists, especially LOK, Carrie Fry, and Mega Weasel, who are responsible for many of the emotes that you are given access to by subscribing to the channel, which we're very grateful for. All the revenue from those subs and the ads we run will go to helping us run future RPG Limit Break marathons. But fret not, people. 100% of the donations go straight to Nami. We have a very special donation from Sharky, a $10.10 donation. Those of you in chat, press F to pay respects to Windows 10. While we have a couple more minutes here, we'll read a couple more quick donations. That is, if Windows 10 decides to let us. Is Windows 10 cooperating over there? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. We have a $12 donation from Calvinus that says, "Got a good thing going? Keep at it." And we have a $5 donation from Dragon7398 that says, "Hey Dragondarch, been loving your runs on Brosensor's channel and nice to see you playing through something less questionable." I don't know about that. Oh, and put my money towards Mort as Rue's name in Breath of Fire. Do we have another quick minute, guys? All right. Keep going. I think I have a small donation of $190 here. I believe the name is pronounced Miria. It says, "Oh, come on. Of course I'm going to donate towards showing off the cheat code I discovered. The Breath of Fire 1 debug name cheat. Meow to everyone at the event and watching online." Meow is just something I say. I'm not asking you to meow. I think clearly, well, now the crowd is a bunch of cats. You've done your job. Meow. We have a couple more donations here. We have a $5 donation from T. Murdoch that says, "Here's for DD to push the rock at Valkyrie Profile DS." And now that we have overcome Windows 10, Vuligen's mental breakdown, and a myriad of other things, let's get back to RPG Limit Break 2018!
Oh, hey, Vuligen, you're going to want to swap the screens because that's the main screen. I asked you if you were going to put 2 screens up. You said yes.
You guys should have seen the look on Vuligen's face. He's whispering sweet nothings into Dragondarch's ear.
Please don't hurt him, Vuligen.
Oh, welcome to RPG Limit Break, where DS runs are a thing of beauty.
DS runs are always beautiful.
If it ain't Draken, it's something else with you, Dragondarch.
Hey, to be fair, Windows 10 is not my fault.
No, but I'm just saying, it seems to be whenever you get on, enjoyment happens.
We plead the 5th.
Ogre Battling Grimrock ran perfectly last year. I don't know what you're talking about.
There was Griffin, bro. But that's a good thing. I didn't say it was good or bad. I just said things happen.
We have Notepad. We will fix things.
We don't consider this a technical difficulty, by the way, people. We just consider this part of the show for all of your enjoyment.
It's fine. I want to make sure when all the other runs ahead after mine come in way under estimate, I want to make sure that we're still on schedule. That's been my entire plan.
You are truly a man among men, Dragondarch, thinking of everyone else but your own
Yes.
well-being.
The
Yes.
real irony is going to be if you sub 150.
That's not going to happen with this route. A 155 would be nice.
I mean,
Perfect. We did it. We did it. Tech problems overcome. We have audio. Video is in the right spot. Vuligen is walking out of the room. I think he needs a nap.
And Vuligen has now left the room.
I think he's leaving the state.
I wouldn't blame him. Okay, well, with that said,
I have completely forgotten everything.
that's fine.
Okay.
I have to. With that said, we finally have overcome the tech problems, the audio problems. Windows 10 deciding to update in the middle of all this stuff, getting a new computer from the other room and installing all the hardware on that too. But welcome to Valkyrie Profile, Covenant of the Plume. I want to thank Dan God of Thunder here, who's going to be helping me on commentary. We got Metasigma as a host right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a shout out to Vuligen for putting up with all that crap.
Big shout outs. Everybody should give a round of applause to Vuligen. I mean, he just champed his way through that, and I don't think I've ever seen him more calm in his life when everything went.
You didn't see him when he was whispering into my ear.
Oh, I saw it. It looked like he was whispering
You didn't
sweet
see
nothings.
his face.
No, I didn't have to see his face to know what his face was saying. You might end up not here tomorrow, and if that's the case, I want my money now.
But I want to also give him another shout out because I'm borrowing his DS for this because I have a DS Capture at home, but it's not in the greatest of condition, and I didn't think it was going to survive the trip. So I borrowed his, and then tech problems happened. But shout outs to him for loaning me his DS as well because this run wouldn't be happening without it. But let's not waste any more time because tech problems and stuff. So, ready on the timer? All right. 3, 2, 1, and go. Finally, we did it. The game can start.
It only took how long?
Yes. 3. So, the beginning of the game here, for those of you who aren't familiar with this game at all, the Valkyrie profile has 3 games in it right now and a couple of remakes. This is the 3rd game in the series. This is more of a TRPG compared to the first 2 games. First 2 were more JRPG style, but the battles were set up in a way where you could use all of your party members in the same combat. You just mapped them to different buttons, and you can use that to attack with multiple characters, time your attacks to perform combos and everything. But this is basically the TRPG version of that. And it works pretty much the same. You have all your different characters on different buttons. And that's going to allow you to set up combos. If a character is in range, they will attack with the character who initiated the attack. These first 3 battles are basically just teaching you the combat system. And for this first battle, they give you 2 characters here. This one with the spear and the other guy in green there way on the right. They're both level 10. So they're just going to solo this first map for us. Will, the main character, and then Ansel there is just going to stay right at the beginning. But they're going to explain all the all the combat mechanics and everything. We're just going to have them... They're watching. They're watching. They're getting experience for it. The nice thing is in this game is if a character is in the battle and alive, they get experience for anything that is killed. So they don't have to be actively participating. And good, he did not get stunned. When you get attacked from the side, there's a chance you can get stunned, and you can't counterattack if that happens. So it's good luck that he didn't get stunned right there. I think it's like a 25-ish% chance.
Or an eternity of
Something like that.
Yeah, about that.
If it's from behind, it's usually 100. Is it?
Behind it is, yes, 100. Side, I thought it was 50 for a while, but I don't think it's really 50. It feels more like 25%. You can see the main character and Ansel back there leveled up, even though they haven't done a damn thing yet. But we're just going to keep them right here. The enemies are a bit strong here, and we want them to be leveled before they do anything. And these guys, like I said, they're level 10. They can do everything we need to right here. And it's a lot faster than actually moving the other 2 characters down here, because every bit of movement I have to do takes time. So leaving characters at the start, not even bothering to move them, will generally save time. And I can't choose my characters for these first 3 battles, because they just don't give you the choice. But I'm moving in a specific way here. Oh, no, you don't want to go there. You want to go down here. But I'm moving in a way. I'm going to lure this last enemy out. This last one will not move unless you get close enough. You cannot get into range of him without him coming after you. So I have to get my guys down there in a very specific manner so I don't get it. I need to get 1 counterattack on them to have enough damage to be able to kill him in 1 combo. So I'm going to move like this. This is going to coax him up here to attack from the front instead of the side. If I just walked his maximum distance in a straight line, he would have moved to this same position but attacked from the side instead, which gives him that chance at the stun. So I did it like this to make sure he attacks from the front so I can guarantee that I'm going to get the counterattack here. These guys would be kind of scary for the other 2, for Will and Ansel, because they're only level 2 right now. But these 2 here, I'm just going to show off the combo attacks in this just a moment here. Switch over, attack with him. So here I have both characters in the combat. And I'm going to use both of them to get him down. But you can see on the top screen there, each character is listed on what button they're on, and you can also see how many attacks they have left. That's really important in some fights. Around here, it's not a big deal, but later on, the number of attacks is super important for being able to get enemies down in like 1... trying to get them down in 1 action instead of having to go multiple fights. Because you can see every single fight initiates its own combat sequence, and it's like 10 or 15 seconds per combat. So we want to reduce those as much as possible.
Yeah, and the amount of attacks you have is determined by the weapon you've equipped, and weapons will also determine special attacks, which we'll see later.
Yep, some weapons have this ability called Soul Crush, which allows them to basically do like a finishing move, but you have to get the combo gauge up enough to activate it. We don't see it much early because we don't have enough characters to really make use of it. So the second battle, the level 10 characters aren't here. I have to remember to do this real quick. Get open slash to the 3rd slot. I can change the order of my attacks. I don't want open slash as the second attack because it's actually Will's weakest attack, and it also launches the enemy into the air, which mostly just wastes time right now. The other 2 attacks just straight up hit harder. So I want to have those as his first 2 because I have a weapon that only allows him to do 2 attacks. But here, Ansel's more the star. Will, he's okay, but he's not as good as Ansel is right now. Ansel is a warrior class, which gets more attacks per level. And you can see the difference in damage right there. Ansel did most of it, and Will just kind of did a little bit of extra just to kind of help finish it off. The next one, though, we're going to have this kobold walking up over the bridge. right here. He's going to park himself right at the end of the bridge, and we're going to double attack him. But I have to do this a bit more specific because at their current level, they do not have enough damage. They're not guaranteed to do enough damage to take it down. So the way I'm going to set this up is I'm going to put Will right next to him, so he'll be involved in the combat, but I'm not going to initiate it with him. I'm going to initiate it with Ansel instead, and I'm going to attack from behind and stun him, and then I'm going to attack, and I'm going to wait for it to be stunned and then start attacking. One. Start attacking now. 1 gem, good. But I got enough damage anyway, so it didn't matter. And I got 1 gem there at the end. Those red gems that drop, you'll notice Ansel still has 3 attacks right now. Those red gems increase the number of attacks you have. And you can only get them under special circumstances. When the enemy is stunned, that's one of those circumstances. So in that case, I was getting red gems in case I didn't get enough damage to take out the Kobold in one. I would have waited until Ansel reset his position and then had him attack a few more times to take him out. More of a safety than, well, just more of a safety. I wanted to make sure he died in one because if he hadn't died, the wolf, the wolf would have moved up in the same position, but then I would have to waste extra turns taking out the remaining enemies. And for this, I am not going to bother attacking with Will because Will is currently incapable of taking out the wolf. Ansel can do it by himself, but Will is not quite strong enough. So no point counterattacking and wasting time. I'm going to initiate this attack, however, with Will, and then I'll do the last one with Ansel. They're both attacking from the back, but Ansel's got enough damage here, so I don't have to worry about it. And we have time for a quick donation if you want to do one.
We have a $40 donation from
Stoltenheim?
Yes.
Perfect.
That says, put this toward getting bullied and something to drink. That poor guy deserves it.
He does deserve it.
I could go for more of that.
See, even Ansel agrees.
I was about to actually say. Do we have time for one more?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so this next battle, they're not even going to give me the menu beforehand. This is going to introduce one of the big mechanics of the game. We call it pluming. This is a forced one. I don't get any choice in this. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to use the plume. It's going to use it on Ansel. Will is going to recite a speech, and I'll explain about leaving the voices on later, like after this fight or something. So you'll notice what happened to his stats. They've all been multiplied by 10. He is basically a walking tank now, and he's going to solo the rest of the map for me. Now, these are the same monsters we fought in the first map that were actually kind of tough. You'll notice he just did about 800 to 900 damage there and just one-shot it. He's going to do that for both of these.
All this fighting works
but what
up
happens
an
when you
appetite.
plume is the character's stats increase by 10 times for the remainder of that map, and Will gains a special ability once the map is complete, based on what character it was that you plumed. In this case, we're getting Volley's Awakening, which increases all of Will's stats by double for 2 turns.
And it taunts them towards Will.
That too. The thing is, though, when you plume a character, they are dead permanently. You lose them after the map, and you can never use them again. So pluming in this game is a very strategic choice. You have to kind of pick which characters you're going to plume when, based on what kind of map it is, how much time it's going to save for the plume, and what ability you're getting out of it, which is the other big one. The first two non-forced plumes we do give us really good abilities.
Works up an appetite.
There won't be one in the next chapter because they're going to explain at the beginning of the next chapter that you cannot plume a character that's a guest. And when a character joins you during a chapter, they're considered a guest. You're not like allied with them or anything. You haven't built up enough trust yet, so you cannot plume them because the bond is not great enough. And yes, I will be saving. The next 2 maps are actually really scary because they're about to introduce the sin mechanic. Sin is basically it's overkill. The more overkill you do, the more sin you accumulate. This map, there is nothing I have to do. And on this map, I need twice the amount they want me to get. For this map, it's 50, which is pretty low, but we don't have a lot of special abilities to work with or anything. But there's rewards based on how much sin you earn. Rewards for 100%, 150%, and 200%. And I need the 200% reward for this one. So I need 100 sin total. And if I get bad damage rolls, I may have to reset. because I can't get enough sin. And I need the items I get from this for the next map.
Also, as far as sin, like as far as how much you get 1 point of sin for every 1% extra damage for overkill you do.
Yes.
So you can't get more than 100 per enemy if you do twice the maximum.
Okay, good. I got the right amount off him. It should be about 27 to 29, depending on damage values. As long as I get 20 from him, it's usually fine. Also, we have this character now. We have Tarifa. She is the worst damage dealer in the game. Has the lowest damage multipliers on all of her attacks. She has archer. She's an archer, so her strength growth is a lot lower. She's just overall really, really bad. She's just good. She's mostly good for initiating extra attacks when you have your other characters in range. That's mostly what she's going to be doing here, is just assisting Will, doing a little bit of extra damage, and initiating one extra attack, the first attack and then the very last attack. I'm also moving in a very specific way here. I get the, I'm setting this up so that swordsman up there is going to come attack Will on the next turn. I'm going to kill this mage from the front. That way the swordsman will not go off to the side. I don't want the chance of him stunning Will, because I'm going to counterattack him to death. Okay, good. I got about 60 sin for that. That's exactly what I'm looking for here. Like I said, I'm looking for 100, and I should get the rest of it off this next counterattack. Yep, there's 60, so I'm sitting on 87 right now. I only need 13 more, which is really easy to get with this guy. Off this next guy, though, I need a drop off of him. He drops a Viking sword. He can also occasionally drop a Union Plume, and sometimes he won't drop anything. What I really want is the Viking sword, though, because that's an upgrade for Will, and I can equip it during battle, and it's going to make the archer a bit faster, dealing with the archer a little bit faster. But like I said, there's no guarantees I'm going to get it, and I'm just going to hope. I don't have to reset if I don't, because you can buy it in the shop as well. So it's not the worst thing in the world, it just costs a bit of time on this map.
The battle is won.
And Viking sword, sweet. So this map will go exactly like I want it to. Give a moment for a quick donation if you want.
Okay, we have a $500 donation.
Woo!
From our very own Aurelix that says, Dragons? Dragons? Dragons!
Dragons.
Durgans.
So I positioned Will over here in the corner so the archer would not be able to attack him. And I also left Tarifa down there so the archer couldn't reach her. Because archers cannot attack the square directly next to them. So Will can attack here without any counterattack. It's not the damage I'm worried about. I'm just trying to reduce the number of animations they get, which just costs time. By keeping Tarifa down there, the archer didn't actually attack her, so I didn't have to sit through an extra combat. And if I brought Tarifa up a little bit earlier, she would have also participated in that first attack and would have been counterattacked by the archer instead. But there we go. I got all the sin I needed, so I'm going to get the item. I'm going to get everything that I need out of this map. The next map is also kind of scary because I need 150% there, but the requirement is 130 base. So I need 195 off the next map. So you can see I got 117. She says, hi, yeah, here's some items. You did a really good job. We'll explain a little more about her in a little bit. Actually, Dan, if you'd like to go over the story a little bit right now, if you
Yeah, so this is not the brightest, most chipper game, to put it bluntly. What happens, before the game starts, your father is killed in battle, and the Valkyrie, this is all heavily based on Nordic mythology, and the Valkyrie selects the main character Wilfred's father as one of her Einarhar, and we've been disagreeing on how to pronounce that.
Einherjar, I believe.
That would be a story for a different day. Either way, the mortal realm is not as privy to how the whole system works in preparation for Ragnarok. So his family believes that the Valkyrie is basically responsible for his father's death, which causes his younger sister to die, and as a result of losing both her husband and her daughter, Wilfred's mother kind of goes into her brain kind of moves into a position where before both of her children were born. And so Wilfred is now obsessed with getting revenge on the Valkyrie, who he believes is responsible for killing his father.
Oh boy, okay, so we're going to go into backup mode here. I just crit the first guy. Normally I want to get as much sin off him as possible, and it is still possible to salvage this. but I'm going to have to make up the sin somewhere else. And it's not guaranteed that I can get this to work. If the RNG isn't on my side, the RNG is not on my side. So we're just going to kind of pray that this works. If I don't manage to make up the sin, I have to restart the fight, unfortunately. This is one of the dangers of this map. It's critting that first guy means I get no sin. I kill him instantly, and I get almost no sin from him. And the other enemy I have to do it off of, I have to stun from behind and generate enough gems that I can use use Will's Soul Crush to make up the damage. The other option, I'm actually might try the backup option instead, where I go 2 combats. I'm just gonna hope. Like I said, I'm praying at this point. I really didn't want to see a crit there because it's not the safest way to do this fight. And I was really worried it was going to happen, so of course it happened, right?
Well, I mean, look at our setup.
True. Touche. Okay, so the big thing I picked up from that first fight was these flare gems. That was one of the 200% sin rewards, and they do a lot of damage for this point in the game, and I'm going to use them to get rid of these archers, because these archers just eat time like you wouldn't believe. The attacks are very slow, they attack twice, and they're ranged, so it's difficult for anybody to get really close to them. Tarifa can counterattack them, but like I said before, she's terrible at damage. So I'm going to use the flare gems to take them out. That's the big item I wanted from that last fight, because this fight ends up a lot slower if you can't pop these archers early. And it'll be on the next turn that I see if I can hit if the RNG is going to be kind for making up the sin. I really hope this works.
Do I need to try and bless the RNG?
What did you
Please
expect?
don't. Not from you. So everyone's just he's gonna move down in between the two. The other 3 are not gonna move because they haven't aggroed yet. I gotta move up far enough for that to happen. All right, here we go. Let's hope this works. Okay, please no crits to start with. Okay, I got him stunned. That's fine. He's not gonna counterattack. I'm gonna initiate the next attack with Tarifa. And I'm gonna hope I can get a Soul Crush out of it, get enough red gems for it. I did that kind of damage just to make sure I'm gonna get the sin required, but I have to get lucky with the red gem drops for this to work. Okay, I got it. Oh, thank God. So the sin has been made up. I usually get about 70 off that first guy if I don't get the crit. But I just got 100 off this guy, so we're good. I was really worried about this map. I'm going to say that right now. This is probably the map that scares me the most out of pretty much the entire run because it's so tight on the sin requirement.
It's only, what, the 4th map of the game?
5th map, yeah. Fifth map of the game. It's like, yep, here's some RNG. Hope you don't crit. But yeah, that's the backup. If you the true backup, if I wasn't going for a little bit of the safety strat there, would have just been to try to do it in 1 and pray. But that really ends up being a problem if you don't generate enough, but you accidentally kill him because you had enough attacks. So that's why I kind of pushed him down on HP first, just to make sure I could get enough sin out of it. 'Cause sometimes even that won't work. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm just moving up very slowly. I want Will in this exact position here. It's going to cause these 2 to move over towards him, and they're going to line up very neatly. But they won't try to reach him. They don't always take full advantage of the fact that they can attack diagonally, which is to my advantage because they're going to try and come in from the front. And I'm just going to move beside him here, and we're going to pop Volley's Awakening in, get Will's stats boosted, and then Tarifa is going to initiate the attack instead. We're going to leave one of them alive, and then Loxwell's going to come down finally. I moved up just far enough so Loxwell's going to attack, partake in the fight. Okay, that should be enough sin from him. The swordsman usually gives me about 60, so I should be good.
Not bad if I do say so myself.
Dan, if you'd like to explain the story of this chapter real quick.
So chapter 1, the Tarifa is, when you start off last mission, Will is running and stumbles into Tarifa, and she's currently hiding. She's an assassin who says, "The heck with it, I'm done being an assassin, I'm out of here." And because she's a military assassin, the military is not super keen on people just leaving which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. And in the process of stumbling into her, the people sent to track Tarifa down,
For you,
including the mage you see there, Loxwell, catch up with them. And so both battles are focusing around that, and turns out Loxwell's her dad. So Loxwell's been sent to go and track down and or kill his daughter.
So I needed Volley's Awakening available for this fight, or for this guy specifically, because he's got a lot of HP. And without it active, it takes a number of combats to get him down.
What did you expect?
That's why I waited so long to use Volley's Awakening, just so I'd have it a bit available for him. But we met the Sin requirement, which is perfect. We got almost double. Wow, that's actually really good. But I met the 150% reward, so perfect. So now Loxwell's like, I'm sorry, I'll join you. That's pretty much it. He's like, I shouldn't have been fighting against my daughter. I'll join up with you. So now I have a mage. We're not going to end up using him before the next chapter starts. But thankfully, he joins as a guest right now, but there's no more battles before the end of the chapter, so I get to fully use him in the next one. Also, you come back to this town a few times, Torquay. This is Will's hometown. He comes back to basically check on his mom, check on her carekeeper or caregiver. Like Dan explained earlier, his mom's kind of not in the right sense of mind right now.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of checking in to make sure she's okay.
Severe PTSD, kind of.
Okay, so chapter 2, you get to pick which path you go. You can choose between one of these 3 paths, and it forces the save after you choose the path. You can't just, you really can't just save scum out of it. So we're picking the Hroth Walk path. This is going to give us 2 characters named Darius and Gwendal. Gwendal is the one with the important Plume ability, which we'll be using later, and we'll explain that a little bit later as well. But Gwendal is a warrior. Let me check my notes here. Okay, it's just Loxwell here, Tarifa here, Gwendal here, and then we're good to go. I have my notes up on or all my menuing in between battles up on a laptop next to me, just to make sure I don't forget anything. Because one little mistake can cost a ridiculous amount of time in this. Volley's Awakening, and then we're going to move Loxwell and Tarifa up. And then we're just going to initiate the attack with Tarifa. We have enough damage output between just Tarifa and Will that I can take it down. I want to avoid using Loxwell here because his attacks take a lot more time. He cast Firestorm, which you saw in the previous battle, which has a long animation and knocks something up into the air, which just eats at the clock. So if I don't have to use Loxwell, I really don't want to right now. Gwendal is literally here just to absorb a little bit of experience, and he has one other purpose in this fight, but not until like the very end. So he's just gonna kind of chill and watch what's going on. Also, these bats have 2 attack range, but for some reason this one walks up right next to Will, so I can counterattack it. I'm not quite sure why the AI does that sometimes, but I'm not going to argue with it either. Oh, good. No stun. And Will, because he has Volley's Awakening running, can just one-shot it. Also, I mentioned earlier that I'm leaving the voices on, which does eat time because of certain voice clips outside of combat, like with casting buffs and the Plume ability, which eats 4 seconds. But for some weird reason in this game, enemies that do not have a voice clip, like all the monsters on this map that I'm fighting, when they die, with voices turned off, their death animations take 3 seconds longer for some reason. It makes no sense whatsoever. But on a map like this, there's 8 enemies here, and it's average like 3.25 seconds that you lose per death animation. So I mean, that's over 24 seconds lost right there. That's actually 26 seconds, I think. I'm trying to math on the fly, and I'm not doing well with it.
No, that was 26.
Perfect. But yeah, 26-second loss for that, and I lose on this map only half a second from Will yelling "Ha" when he casts Volley's Awakening. So that's a pretty good trade-off, I'd say. But the entire tutorial had all monsters, no voice clips. So between the tutorial and just this map alone saves, I believe it's about 53 seconds by having voices on. Which is weird, which is kind of weird considering it does waste some time, but you lose more from the death animations. I'd still love to know why that happens, but I'm no programmer and I'm not going to bother looking into it. I'm just going to accept that it happens.
Because video games.
Yeah, we can go with that. Oh, wow, Will dodged. Good job. Not that it matters here, because I can't counterattack it. He's 2 panels away this time. This bat was a bit smarter than the first one. But yeah, you can see all the enemies I have to deal with. The boss enemy is all the way up the top, but this map requires that I kill everything in order to clear the map. You would think using a plume on this map would be helpful, but it's actually not, because you still have to travel around the entire thing. It does save a decent amount of time, but not enough to justify a plume. The plume ends up being a lot faster on the next map. On this one, though, because Volley's Awakening is worn off, I have him cast Firestorm just to generate a little bit of extra combo gauge, which allows Will to go into his Soul Crush, which is giving me enough damage to kill this bat. Occasionally, with the damage ranges, I can get this bat down without it, but it's not very likely at the levels I'm at. The next couple are a little bit more reliable because I gain a level I gain levels on all 3 characters right here. But yeah, there's not really much else to talk about with this map. Meta, if you got some donations, go for it.
I do. I have a $100 donation from Light Eagle that says, someone gets strongest of names in Breath of Fire race. And I'm fairly certain I know that's Doof.
Doof.
Because Doof. We also have a $100 donation from Tyler the Driver that says, good luck, Dragondarch. Big shout out to everyone working behind the scenes to make this event happen. Looking forward to a great week for a great cause. Donation to Runner's Choice.
I actually want to give a quick shout out here to Sniper Wave and Huang, who have actually been working on this game. So as it turns out, when I was rerouting this a couple weeks ago, they were also rerouting this at the same time independently, and I don't think either of us knew the other was working on a route. So we've both been kind of working on getting the time down with our own individual routes, but they've actually got there's some battles that I know for a fact that they do faster than me. I just did, by the time I had my route and found out that they had one as well, I didn't have enough time to practice theirs before the marathon started, because I had to, like, by the time I got mine done, I had to work the next 4 days, and there was just not enough time for me to relearn every fight. But big shout out to them for finding a lot of new tech for this run. We're pretty sure we can get a sub 150 run with this when we put all of our knowledge together and come up with and actually just utilize everything we've got at our disposal. We're pretty confident sub 150 is going to happen. A big shout out to them for working on this and finding a lot of what they have. And if you got time for more donations, go for it.
Oh, baby. We have a $75 donation from Anonymous that just says, go Genya. Although I call him Genja, and, well, he gave me some pretty unhappy looks.
As he should.
I'll just call him 23. We have a $15 donation from Anonymous that says, Doof Doof is power, Doof Doof is life. We have a $5 donation from RPB234 that says, Hack Hack Dragondarch.
No, we don't want mentions of Draken right now, please. We want the marathon to continue, not what happened before the run.
We have a $20 donation from Royal Blue Wizard that says, good luck with the run, D-Darch. May Covenant of the Plume treat you better than, well, your other infamous game that has multiple names. Which one is your favorite name out of all those that you've been told?
Oh, I go with Dangerous Buildings still.
Oh, it's a strong one. It's a strong
Unsafe
one.
tenements.
Hostile hostels. Terrible domiciles.
We could be here all day.
Oh, we could.
Let's-
I have over 100 of these things now.
He does. He does. All right, we also have a $20 donation from Warren Queenie that says, looking forward to an awesome week. Thanks to all the staff and runners who make this possible. Do we have time for a quick one? Another quick one?
One more.
Okay. We have a $5 donation from Shiwa that says, day one of RPG Limit LB hype, a week of unproductivity. That makes sense.
Yay to unproductivity.
Also, someone say hi to Yaga for me. Yaga, put the money towards whatever the rabbi wants.
Romp.
What does the rabbi like most?
He likes romp.
That's true.
Tarifa,
Frogs.
you are all that matters to me.
That voice clip you just heard from Loxwell only happens if Tarifa is participating in the exact same fight that he is. Otherwise, he will never say it, to my knowledge. Okay, so we're finally going to take out the final enemy in this. This battle's actually gone exactly as I planned, outside of having to use one extra Soul Crush that I didn't want to. Will's going to get hit from the side here. I can't counterattack this, but we had to draw her out somehow. Gwendol was brought in solely so I have an extra character to fight this fight with. Because I need 4 characters for the damage output. You can do it with 3, but it's not terribly likely. And even with Will's Soul Crush, only the 3 of them without Gwendol is not quite enough to take him down. You'd have to get kind of behind her, and then hope you can generate enough red gems that you can take her down as well. So I'm just basically going to get into this and mash all 4 buttons here so everybody does all their attacks. We're going to generate a lot of hits. We're going to finish with Gwendol because he actually hits the hardest right now. He's also got a really good Irish voice, because why not? You'll get to hear a really good line from him in a little while. I won't spoil it, but it's a really good one.
How long am I to babysit this runt?
That one's pretty good too.
Most of his are really the voice acting's really good, especially for a DS game.
So just a note, he really doesn't like Will. Oh, so I met Sin here. I didn't need to meet Sin here. It's not a big deal. It just gets rid of a Realm Stalker on the next map, which doesn't matter because the next map. Well, I won't. I'll wait until we get into it to explain that. First, I'm gonna do a little bit of shopping and then actually a bit of menuing before this. Let's see. Okay, Crystal Wand. 3 ways of dashing. And 1 copy of... Why is Frigid Damsel last? I shouldn't have been there. Okay, whatever. It works. My notes are a little backwards. Because I'm great at notes. Alright, so I'm going to put Tarifa on Y. I need to learn dashing on all of them. And I also need to learn Frigid Damsel here. We're going to go ahead and just take care of this right now so I don't forget. Change him over to Frigid Damsel. Not so much for this fight, but for the next one. Okay, so the mechanic we talked about earlier, the Plume mechanic, that is going to come into play right now. But I need Tarifa to be able to get far enough, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Over there. So it even gives you a big warning right there. It says, if you do this, the character's dead. She's not coming back. But like I said, she's the worst damage dealer in the game, and her Plume ability is really good. It paralyzes all enemies on the map for 3 turns, except the enemy leader.
Something is
And as has been mentioned before, there's also 10 times. She also gets 10 times her normal stats. So she is gonna just destroy this map. I'm gonna do a little bit of safety here. Normally, I don't bother killing this guy. But I'm gonna grab an extra item off this for the 150% sin. It's gonna make the final battle a little bit more safe. I don't need the item strictly. I've done it without it. But I'm taking it just in case because there's some RNG in that last one. But now every enemy on the map is currently paralyzed except for the leader down here, who's just gonna stay put because we're not close enough. And Tarifa's just gonna walk down and show him what's what. I also bought these. This dashing ability. Dash gives you an extra 3 panels of movement, but you can only wait after finishing up with the movement. You can't attack or do anything like that. It just gives you 3 extra panels. It is an extremely good ability, especially for archers and mages who only normally have 3 panels of movement to begin with. She's gonna kind of walk down here. These enemies, don't worry about them. They're fine. And the boss, even though he can see this glowing red archer assassin here walking towards him, is just calmly going to sit in place.
I mean, what else would you do when a trained assassin glowing red is charging right at you?
And then she's going to walk up and, well, things are going to happen. Well. So yeah, like we mentioned earlier, her stats are multiplied by 10. You are basically invincible in this state. And I generated enough since that I got the 150%, but as mentioned before, the character is gone permanently now. And they actually have a cutscene whenever you plume somebody that shows their dying moments. And for Tarifa, Loxwell is present because she dies and he's her father. It's kind of a touching scene, but we're not going to watch it, unfortunately. I am not chancing this. This next fight's kind of tough. I'm going to make a quick safety save here. I also need to quickly equip the Falchion on him. Everything else should be set up properly. This fight, we're going to be fighting an actual boss in this fight. And I can get her down without needing to plume or anything like that. It's just really tight on the damage, and I have to not make any mistakes. Unfortunately, saving when the next battle is on the same map or in the same area that you were just in requires you to exit out to the world map, which does eat a bit of time. Alright, so I'm just going to set my places here. We're going to put Gwendol on Y. Will goes on B. Will goes on X. And then it's Darius on B, and then Loxwell on A. They're set up specifically like this so they can actually reach where the boss is going to be standing, because Gwendol and Darius cannot be taught dash yet. They can't until the next chapter, so only Will and Loxwell have access to it. So I need to make sure that they are closest so they can actually get over here. So Will's going to move right here. This is very specific. Also, the items I picked up in map 1-2 were these might potions, which I'm going to need for this map as well. Move him next. Dash him over here.
I never miss.
Don't worry about what he says. He's old and senile. You need to go right there. We're going to use one of the spell potions I picked up on him. I actually forgot to equip the magic bangle on him, but that shouldn't matter. So the enemies hopefully move in the way I want them to. He's going to walk up and attack Darius. That's why I had him facing this way so he doesn't get stunned or anything. The only danger here is that the enemy could possibly crit, which he did not, so we're good. I'm not going to bother counterattacking because I don't need to kill this guy, and Darius is still level 10 and fairly weak. The rest of the enemies are going to move. Only one other one is actually going to get in range to do any attacks, and it's going to be this guy. He's going to hit Gwendol with a poison blow. Gwendol might get poisoned, which is not a big deal. It's just one hit, does like 200-something damage. Oh, 300. Wow, that was a high damage roll. And then the rest of the enemies are just kind of move around, try to get closer. But I moved in this specific manner, so the boss is going to move directly next to Will. She has 5 movement range, but she's a rogue, so she can only attack in the cardinal direction. She cannot attack diagonally at all. And that is huge for this. And I'm going to position my characters at her diagonal, so she cannot do anything. And also, I did not accidentally use dash this time instead of Volley's Awakening, so I didn't lose 7 minutes. Yes, that's a thing. I've done that. I learned from my mistake. I meant to use that on himself. Whoops. Oh well, that shouldn't be a big deal. So we don't want to mess this up. So Loxwell first. Will comes in from the back. Stun. Good. Gwendol first because he hits weaker, because Will is under Volley's Awakening right now, so he's going to be doing the most damage. I needed to get enough gauge out of that, so Will would be able to do one immediately after it. We're going to hope this is enough damage. If it's not a big deal. I can initiate another attack. I have one with Loxwell. Nope, not enough. I did need that might potion on Gwendol for that. That was my mistake, so it's going to take one more round to take her out. Not a huge loss because, like I said, we're at her diagonal, so she cannot counterattack, which is huge because she will kill somebody every time she attacks. Do not attack him. Just do not attack him. I've done that before, too. Okay, so Will's just going to come in and get a little overkill just for fun. And boss down. Normally, I can get her down in 1, but the damage is really, really tight on this. And if I get bad damage rolls, I couldn't have gotten it anyway. But the Might Potion on Gwendol gives him just enough extra damage that we can get her down in 1 combat. So it's only like a 15-second loss, which isn't that big of a deal. And that was basically Chapter 2. Dan, if you want to quickly go over what actually happened in Chapter 2, because we didn't explain that very much.
This is the one that I spaced a little bit, but there's in the land of Artolia where this whole game takes place, there's a lot of things going on, which we'll get into more detail later. But there's a peasant uprising. I believe it's over bad harvests, if I'm not mistaken.
Initially, yes, I think that is.
That's what it was.
About.
And the 3 paths you choose determine whether you're aiding the rebels, whether you're part of, I think it's like Vilnor's military expedition or something.
Yes, you can be hired
and
by
then the
it.
third option that we choose, which escapes my mind as far as what exactly it was. I remember you explaining that one.
Yeah, we were basically hired by, I think, the Vilnor army to basically come in and basically incite the rebellion and then kill all of them and then frame it on somebody else. And then afterwards, all the mercenaries would be killed, so there were no witnesses. They weren't going to be paid. They were going to be killed. It's basically the path where you are the biggest jerk to everybody. So, of course, we go that way, right? Okay, I need
Again, really happy chipper game.
Okay, I need to be able to see my notes for this. Nope, please buy. I need 1 Lotus Wand. I need Might Reinforce, Spell Reinforce, 1 Art of Enlightenment. I could have gotten that last chapter too, and 2 Ways of Dashing. There we go. All my shopping's done for this chapter. We've got a guest mage in the party now too. Her name's Rosea. We're going to actually be using her a little bit. I'm going to do my menuing before the fight. So let's see. You need Enlightenment. Spell Reinforce, Might Reinforce. You need Dashing, and you need Dashing as well. I need to give him the Lotus Wand. I also need to give him the Magic Bangle. Double checking all this. Why is Dashing after those? Oh, whatever. Okay, I just need to set Enlightenment. I'm going to make a quick safety save here. You know, I saved at the beginning of the chapter. This fight usually isn't a big problem, but I'm just making absolute sure. I'm going to be safety saving a lot. Because if one thing goes wrong, it snowballs pretty hard. Alright, so for this one, Will is on Y, Loxwell is on X, and Rosea is going to go here. Rosea starts a bit higher level than Loxwell, so she's going to be doing quite a bit more damage, but Loxwell has our buff spells now. Might Reinforce and Spell Reinforce increase your attack power or your magic power respectively for, I believe it's 4 turns. I forget exactly because I usually don't give it time to wear off. But it's a pretty nice boost. You can see he's at 374 from volleys, and then I'm going to pop Might Reinforce on him, and that's going to jump it up another 500. So he's going to be doing a lot of damage right now. And Rosea starts at level 18. Loxwell's only like, I think it was at 14. I don't pay attention too much to what their levels are. I just know things work. But these 2 beetles here are going to walk up and they're going to hit Will a couple of times. Hopefully I don't get stunned on the second round, and Will can counterattack one of them to death. This one they can't because they're both attacking from the front, but they're 2 squares away, so I can't counterattack. I don't know why beetles can attack from 2 squares away either. They don't appear. They use a melee attack, so I don't know. They're both going to attack. One from the side, one from the front. Good, no stun, so this one will go down in 1 shot. Don't get any Sin for it. For this map, I want to just meet Sin. I want to get the minimum. Not because I need the items, but because I don't want the Realm Stalker on the next map. It's not a big deal if I don't hit it, because I'm going to be pluming on the next map anyway. But it wastes some time because the Realm Stalker has a really high resistance to paralysis. And that's going to come into play on the next map. So I'm going to go with Loxwell first so I can Spell Reinforce on Rosea. Because she's higher level, has higher magic than he does, and she has one of the better attacks in the game. She has Sacred Javelin, which you can't actually buy until Chapter 4. She's actually going to do quite a bit of damage here, and I'm going to aim to get 100% Sin off this guy. Yeah, you can see, basically, I just completely ruined him. Full 100 Sin for that, and the next guy I should hopefully get the 100 off of as well.
I long for the peace of the shadows.
Sure you do, Loxwell. And I'm just going to continue moving everybody up. The only tough enemy in this is that blue beetle you see over there. It's an armor beetle. It has more HP and a little more defense. And I'm going to have to use a couple of 1 or 2 soul crushes, usually 1, to get it down. Gwendol is literally just here to initiate 1 attack. I could theoretically do it with only 3 characters if I really wanted to, but it's a little risky if I don't get quite enough damage, or if I don't get enough attack gauge points to get a soul crush. So Loxwell's going to move forward. We're going to Spell Reinforce himself. this is a bit more of a safety, just to make sure I've got enough damage output for this. Rosé is going to initiate this next attack against the beetle in the far end here, since both mages can reach it. Mages always have 3 range, which is actually really, really nice.
Secret javelin.
Yeah, okay, I got more than enough sin now. I need 150. I've got like 190, so I'm good to go. The next guy, like I said, has more HP, more defense, and everything, so I'm going to need... I just need the extra attack gauge stuff from Gwendal, mostly, and so we can initiate the attack itself. You can hear the wonderful voice acting of Gwendal there.
Finishing. Grim vengeance.
All right, we got it down.
How does?
Nice quick fight. No, I don't want to do any more Soul Crushes, thanks.
For you,
And that's 3-1.
Father.
The next fight, I'm going to make a safety save before it because something really dumb happened in a run not that long ago. I got like the worst possible RNG that could happen. One of the enemies I really needed to get paralyzed didn't end up getting paralyzed and then crit one of my characters to death on the next turn, which normally doesn't happen. Crits are not terribly common. But I'm going to make a safety save in case something dumb happens. I also cannot make a save after this fight because I go directly into the next one. So this is kind of a backup for that in case something stupid happens there too. So it's just Will to Y, Will to B, Darius to A. Oh, no, Will to B, Darius to A. That works. Okay, so you're going to see the first use of Gleipnir's Bonds, which is the ability I got from pluming Tarifa. And on this map, I'm going to basically use it to keep everything paralyzed so he can make his way up to the boss. So what happened, the really weird thing that happened, was that living armor right there did not get paralyzed, which is really rare because those are usually the ones that aren't a problem, and then walked up and crit Gwendal to death, which I had never seen happen prior to that. But you'll notice that I also just buffed Will's magic power. So all of these special abilities are based off of Will's magic stat, which he's a swordsman, which they usually don't have terribly good magic, but Will actually has the magic growth of a mage to make up for that. So I buffed Will's magic power to make it more likely he's going to hit with Gleipnir's Bonds. And it did get all 3 of them, so we're good. So we're actually perfectly fine here. I don't need to buff Gwendal or anything. He's going to be more than enough to take this out. Also, here comes one of the best lines of dialogue in the game. After Will gives his little spiel here.
Unto me thy power yield.
What's happening to me?
Yeah. He kind of slurs what's happening to me. He has some pretty good dialogue, I'll admit. It's kind of a shame we have to plume so early, but his special ability is the main one of the speed run. His gives us a random chance of or not random chance, it gives us a chance of instant death on attack based on the character's magic stat. And it's going to come into play in the very next map. So it's very important that we plume him early so we can start abusing that. But first, we're just going to completely annihilate her.
Ow! Ow!
How long am I to babysit this runt?
Not much longer. So that's the entire map. I killed the boss in 1 hit. And Gwendal is now dead permanently. Please, mash better. So yeah, here's the cutscene with him dying. And then there's a cutscene with... so this cutscene here is actually up in Asgard. Odin and Freya have kind of taken notice that you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And then there's a confrontation between Rosé and Lieselota, who's now joined my party. Because reasons.
Should we explain, because I didn't get to go into the whole nature of the whole title, actually, the Covenant of the Plume.
Go for it.
Next time we have an opportunity. I don't know if this is a good opportunity.
Let me explain Instant Death real quick first.
Go ahead.
What we've got here, we're going to use Vaegr's Warcry. This activates the instant death, and as I said, instant death is based off of your magic stat. So mages on almost every attack have a 100% chance to hit with this. And this entire map, nothing is immune to instant death, so this happens. And keep in mind, Lisa Lotta just joined us, and she's a mage, so I've got 2 mages to work with
Always
right
the
now.
reek of blood.
So this entire map revolves around getting the mages in range of attacking things and abusing the instant death. Also, I like to call this map Get Will and Loxwell Caught Up in Levels, because this is where the enemies kind of ramp up a lot in difficulty and in how much experience they give. And Will and Loxwell are very behind in levels right now. To give an idea, Lisa Lotta joined at level 24. We're like level 15 coming into this fight. They're going to walk out, I think, close to... they're going to walk out like in the upper teens at this point. But they're going to be getting level... I think they get like 4 or 5 levels out of this. It's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, if you want to go over the story of this chapter real quick.
So I was going to backtrack, actually, because we never got to explain the whole blooming thing.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So at the end of the second battle, Will is actually killed and like on the verge of death, and Hel, the goddess on the Nordic goddess of the underworld, takes notice. Also notices how mad he is at the Valkyrie, all of his rage, and makes a deal with him. She'll revive him and bring him back if he agrees to create as much sin as possible, to create as much bloodshed as possible. And if he does that in return, she claims she'll help him kill the Valkyrie. Well, that's all he ever wanted in life, and agrees to it. And the way he has to do it is by sacrificing people that are very close to him, people that have a lot of trust in him, and basically condemning them to death. And the covenant of the Plume is imbuing them with power in exchange for killing them afterwards. Going back to this particular chapter, if memory serves, it's Artolian Court. There's a death of the Archmagus Sir Senair, and there's a plot. There's 3 different paths now that this game takes, depending if you've sacrificed 0, 1, or 2 characters in chapter 2. So we're on the B path, correct?
Yep.
Having sacrificed only Sharifa in the second chapter, and the guy who's behind it all, Foxnell, puts the blame on Lisa-Lot and Rosea, who are both exiled, and we're dealing with the fallout from all of that. In the bottom path, where you have sacrificed 2 characters, Rosea joins you. In the middle path, and along with another character that we don't care about. In the middle path, which we're on, Lisa-Lot joins permanently. And strangely enough, on the good path, the top path, if you haven't sacrificed anyone, the guy who's behind it all, the guy who orchestrated the assassination plot, Foxnell is the guy who joins you, who's also a mage.
Actually, he doesn't join until chapter 4. You get a samurai in chapter 3 who's just kind of visiting the land, because why not add a samurai to the game randomly?
No, I think it's he's adopted by the guy who's assassinated.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He was adopted by...
Sir Senair's adopted, he's washed up on the shores from, and I'm not making this up, from the land of Yamato, because why not? And because he's there, because he's from there, he becomes a samurai, even though he's raised in Artolia.
Makes sense.
Of course.
But yeah, what happened in the cutscenes before this is that Lisa Lotta and we confronted Lisa Lotta with Rosea, and Lisa Lotta set up a trap basically after the fight and killed Rosea. Like, she's gone as well. And then you get caught by the palace guard, and you're just associated with Lisa Lotta because you're right next to her. It's like, well, you're here, you must be with her. So we're blaming you as well. So now we're just trying to escape. And, well, we escaped all right. We instant deathed him to death. And that was all of chapter 3. There's a lot of cutscenes here to skip. And now Asgard is still taking notice, like, what's going on here? I'm actually not going to save, because I'm going to save before the next fight.
Yeah, it's possible, actually, to plume too many characters. And if you plume too many characters in a single chapter, at the end of the chapter, Asgard realizes what's going on, and Freya comes to pay a visit. And by pay a visit, we mean kill you.
Yeah, it's basically a game over ending, if you will. Okay, I need 2 Deluge Scepters. I need 2 copies of Sacred Javelin. I need 1 copy of Suspend Motion. 3 Arts of Defiance. Where are those? Wait, I need an art. No, she already has Enlightenment. That's right. 3 copies of Defiance, 1 Dashing, and 3 Silence checks. Yes, notes are handy. So I'm going to skip a couple of cutscenes, then I'll go out and do my menuing and make a safety save. This next fight usually isn't that big of a deal, but some really weird stuff can happen. The enemies behave very erratically in this one. A lot of maps we can actually kind of manipulate what's going on, manipulate all their movement and everything, but this next one kind of resists that. The enemies have some weird buffs and debuff spells that will sometimes get in the way of it. All right, so you need to use Defiance. Loxwell needs Defiance as well. You also need Suspend Motion and Secret Javelin. No, you don't need to do that. I need you, not you. You need Sacred Javelin as well. You need Defiance. You need Dashing. Just making sure I got everything here. I need you to equip this. And the Silence check. You don't need anything right now. He'll come into play later. No weapons for you. I need silence checks on all 3 of them. Yes, it seems weird that I'm putting a silence check on Will, but I'll explain that in just a moment. So I need to set Defiance on you, and then on you, and then set it on you as well. And then I need to set her attack. I'm going to switch over to Lightning Bolt, and then he's going to switch over to Sacred Javelin. Ooh, I wanted to save. Yeah, beginning of the chapter always has like the longest amount of menuing. Chapter 5 has the longest menu in the game. You have a ton of shopping, and then you have to do all the settings to everybody right then and there. Chapter 4 is kind of long too, but this Chapter 5 takes the cake just because you get a whole bunch of new stuff. You get 2 new characters, and yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. All right, so now for the fight itself. We're going to hope everything goes right here. So I need you on X. I need Reinhilda here. I need Loxwell there. All right, so Reinhilda just is a guest character in this. I can't do anything special with her. I can just use her in the combats. But she is an archer as well. But she, unlike Tarifa, has the highest attack multipliers in the game and also has the strength growth of a warrior instead of an archer. So she is extremely powerful. And it's really fortunate that she joins in this path. She also has she has a Soul Crush that has, we kind of joke about the voice acting behind it, and you'll get to hear it shortly here. But there was another, there was another path, there was an older path that didn't use the instant death route, where you got to hear this Soul Crush a lot because you needed a lot of damage output. In this one, less so, but it still comes up with a couple of enemies. Okay, good. He did not. The rogues here, those ones with the yellow hair and kind of wearing the t-shirts, those ones can cast Sap Power, which is a debuff to the attack stat. If they cast it on Reinhilda, it's kind of a minor problem, so we're just going to hope they don't. Okay, so far they did not. That's good. We're going to move Will down, and we're going to actually activate Instant Death now. Now we're going to start the Carnage. You're going to start here with this guy. Switched over to Lightning Bolt, not for this fight specifically, but for the next one. The next one, I can't use Sacred Javelin because one of the enemies is going to be immune to holy damage, and I need her to be able to kill it. So I have to go with Lightning Bolt instead.
To work up a sweat.
Oh, so she's very arrogant. Just an FYI. We're going to move her down. We're going to take out this guy. We're going to leave the one in front of Will. That way, hopefully, he only gets attacked once, because Will is fairly behind in levels right now. And he's not terribly difficult to kill. One of the abilities I did set on him, though, was Defiance, which halves all damage, which makes it a little more likely he'll survive, but it's still kind of dangerous with his low levels.
To work up a sweat.
Loxwell, however, is out of AP. On the first turn, you saw me cast Sacred Javelin from the menu. It does less damage, has a slightly higher chance of doing the status effect, but also gives you a lot more range on it. And I did that to trigger an archer way over in the back there, who otherwise would not trigger unless I moved really close to him. Not spell reinforce, I need might reinforce on her. But it wasted 80 AP, and I was able to hit that archer by targeting a part of the wall that I normally can't even move onto. Okay, good. This guy's going to move first, which means he won't attack Will. Oh, you go right ahead and sap power Will right now. Will is only here to generate attack points, attack gauge points, so I can do soul crushes. This vampire here is casting, just cast Dark Savior from the menu, which has a pretty decent chance to silence, which is why I equip the silence checks on everybody. Even Will needs one because using the dash ability is considered magic to a degree. So he would have, he actually would have, wouldn't have been able to dash if getting silenced. Oh, go right ahead and sap power on the mage too. That's perfect. The enemies aren't the brightest when it comes to casting these debuffs. Okay, so Will is going to take this guy out. Or not Will, going to take him out. Lizelada's going to take him out because Will actually has a reasonable chance to hit with instant death because of his high magic growth. But he can't equip mage weapons like the staves, which boost magic even farther. So he's good at it, but not great. But he's better than pretty much every other character at it. I want to get a buff on Loxwell here, though. I want to get spell reinforced up on him. So I'm going to move her down first so I can get rid of this guy as well. Usually I just move her there and wait, because this guy... Normally one of those two will attack Will instead. And I just counterattack him to death.
Lightning bolt.
And then I got to move Loxwell down. Oh, crap. I moved her into the wrong spot now.
I've seen
about
worse,
it.
but not much.
This should be okay. It's usually not a big problem. I'm just a little concerned about Will right now. I'm going to move Loxwell down to... Actually, I can dash him. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to dash Loxwell into the other position. Oh, he's out of AP. Okay, well, you're not doing that. We're going to move you here then. And you will move here, and we'll spell reinforce on Loxwell. That was my bad. I was supposed to move... Reinhilda to the right of Will and not to the left. Shouldn't make a huge difference. I think he's going to go after Will. Oh, no, he's going after her. Weird. Enemies usually like to target the lowest HP character, or, in this case, a mage. I'm not going to bother counterattacking. I can't instant death this mage, though. The mage and the two living armors are completely immune to instant death. So it's just impossible to do on them. I'm hoping all these enemies are going to line up nicely for me here. Oh, you walked away. You don't usually do that. Okay, I'm going to move Will out here. Okay, good. I can get him with all of them. That's perfect. Mages go first. When they stop, we start attacking. I'm going to go with Reinhilda because her animation is the fastest and she has a good amount of attack power. Get used to hearing that, by the way. As I mentioned, she has the strength growth of a warrior, which makes her exceptionally good, especially with 4 attack range. She's going to basically be in every single fight from here to the end of the game. She's just that good. We'll move her down here first. Okay, good. I can reach that, and... Oh, she can't. Okay. Loxwell, you're going to come down first. Oh, I can't reach... Oh, I can reach him, though. Okay, whatever. We'll get him. Loxwell can get him. Usually don't have Loxwell do very much during this battle. I just want to get everybody in range so they can attack the living armor together, because I realistically need all 4 of them to get it down. I can probably do it without Will, but I'd rather not chance it. But I need to have everybody set up in the right way so I can get them towards the last enemy on the next turn. You're going next. So we can get this guy down. I'm going to hope he doesn't block very much.
Man, I missed it. So good.
Oh, nope. I almost canceled out of that, but I noticed at the last second that I didn't actually kill him. I just missed it. I know if I've killed him because the overkill message will come up. And I was like a couple HP short. So I had to quickly do a soul crush there just to get enough damage on him. I don't care about Sin on this map. There's gonna be a realm stalker on the next map, no matter what. And I don't need any of the rewards here, but I just need to make sure I've got enough damage to kill everything. Okay, so now you're gonna come down here and we'll take this guy out. So instant death lasts for 3 turns, and it's just enough to get all of the enemies that are not immune to it on this map. And the last enemy who's going to start walking towards me now, because I've actually moved off the stairs, is immune to it, so it doesn't matter if it's up on the next turn. If you want to go over the story real quick for this chapter.
Yeah, chapter 4 is mostly dealing with House Balmer and Reinhilda and her husband August, who are the 2 you recruit. We're now on the C path since we've sacrificed more characters. They're the oldest members, and they pass control, I think it's to their oldest son Balmer, who I don't think we get to see him very much, especially with the speed run. But their middle son Nicholas dies, and he's apparently really important despite being a generic NPC. And everyone in House Balmer they're known as being a warlike house until someone dies, because I guess once they see someone die, it's no longer a cool war. And they all kind of no longer really want to be involved with it and start withdrawing from it. So depending on what path you're on, Chapter 4, no matter what, will deal with this family, who's supposed to be one of the most powerful military forces in Artolia. How it shakes out depending on... it shakes out differently depending on what route you're on. And in this route, all three of August's and Reinhilda's children are killed. They're taken by the Valkyrie. Again, because mortals don't really understand how the whole process works. Both parents go to Will and be like, "You're on a quest to kill the Valkyrie? The Valkyrie took everything from us too, because we don't understand how it works. Let's go."
One quick correction. It's House Han, not House Valmer. Valmer is the son that would join you on the B path.
You're right. My apologies for that. Brain fart.
All right,
There's a lot we're keeping track of.
So we're starting Chapter 4-2. You can plume once in Chapters 3 and 4 without Freya come down and getting really irritated with you. So we're going to plume in this map, and I'm going to plume a character that you probably wouldn't think I'd plume here. Let's see, I need Loxwell on X, I need Will here, and then we're just not going to have the other character here. I only need 3 characters for this, because like I said, I'm pluming here. And the less number of characters, the better to a degree, because it kind of manipulates the enemies a little bit. And the big enemies I'm looking to manipulate are across the river. I'm going to have her wait. I'm going to have him spell reinforce on her.
And this map actually does a good job of exemplifying one of Valkyrie Profile's running jokes, where you have to rescue a character who dies at the end anyway.
Yeah, that happens. However, she dies during the map, you game over.
Yeah.
And she doesn't move, and she will attack. If anything is in range, she will attack it. So we're just going to hope that I don't get the bad RNG here. So we're going to find out. The archer and that archer and the sorcerer, or not archer and the swordsman. Okay, swordsman gave me good RNG. Archer gave me good RNG. Perfect. If either one of them go right and go after Fiona instead, you lose 50 seconds per bad RNG set. So first thing we're going to do, go down here with Loxwell. We're going to spell reinforce on Will, because we're going to be doing Gleipnir's Bonds on the next turn, or on his next turn anyway. But Liza-Lotta is going to do something really nice here. We're going to take Sacred Javelin that I bought for her earlier, and we're going to nuke these guys from across the river. The Archer is really a pain because her attack animations take forever, and she will just attack. She will attack Fiona every single turn if she gets in range of her, and it just wastes so much time. And as a bonus, the Golem was sitting in the right spot for me to hit with both of them with Sacred Javelin. So I did it all in one combat, which saves a full round of combat, which is like 15 to 20 seconds most of the time. And it just eliminates a big time waster here. You need to do Gleipnir's. We're going to stand in this exact spot, because when the swordsman over there wakes up, he's going to get a little confused, and he's going to try to go after Will, even though Will's on the other side of the river. And now everything is paralyzed, so I'm just going to be walking down and kind of taking things out on the way. So we need to dash on this turn. We're only going to be able to dash every other turn, otherwise she doesn't have enough AP to do it. Unfortunately, Loxwell... Oh, good. He can get in range of her. I need Loxwell to tag along so he can actually initiate some attacks for Liza-Lotta here.
Lightning bolt.
But yeah, now she's hitting for 4,200 to hit. Nothing can survive this. Even that Realm Stalker over there. Realm Stalkers, we haven't really talked about them that much. They're sort of a penalty. They're sort of the game's way of making you meet Sin, at least on every single map. Because a Realm Stalker will replace one of the other enemies that was on the map initially. And they usually have about double the stats of what you would normally be dealing with. They're basically there to say, you spawned one of these, you're going to have to plume somebody here to get around it. And most of the time you can't deal with it without a lot of effort.
Or being on New Game Plus.
Yeah, that too. that does work as well.
Yeah, because there actually are little bonuses depending on which Realm Stalker you use.
Lightning bolt.
But
you get novelty items basically
you're
for
not
killing them all.
You're not doing it on a fresh file.
No, generally no. I think it's definitely
Well, is it good
possible,
for
but it's
you?
really hard.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not.
You're not meant to by any stretch. They're basically forcing you into a plume usually.
And one of the other aspects, when you plume someone, you've probably noticed by this point, your Sin gauge is set to 100%. So I think it's 350 was the requirement here?
250 for this one.
250, sorry.
If you had gotten Sin prior to that, it doesn't matter. Like it just negates it. It just sets it to 100%, regardless of what you've gotten prior to it. So it's best to do that very early. Rather than late, unless you need to like paralyze everything. In some maps, we'll paralyze before doing before casting Gleipnirs, just to make sure everything's stunned, so they're not moving around and initiating attacks and everything. I don't know if Loxwell's gonna be able to reach this guy. She can attack, but I don't really want her to. We'll just dash. It's fine.
Take this.
I'll make it work. Can he reach? Oh yes, just barely. Sweet. I couldn't remember if Loxwell could reach from that point. So Loxwell's usefulness here is done. Lieselot is going to finish the map up for us.
Lightning bolt. Was it good for you?
But yeah, we have some time for donations if you got them.
Oh, do I ever.
You sounded a little bit too excited for that, Meta.
Oh, yeah. We have a $200 donation from I'm a Squirrel.
Ooh. So I'm a squirrel?
Yep.
How is it that nobody has donated for this? Naming the Soul Blazer main character Everhate.
That should be a thing. I get behind that.
I can agree. We also have a $50 donation from the RPG Valkyries. To me, my noble Einherjar, the Valkyries are proud to help support a noble cause. All of Valhalla is counting on you, RPG Limit Break.
There's some irony with that because
I've seen worse.
we're doing nothing
But
but
not much.
draw their ire.
Oh, we are making them very, very irritated right now.
We haven't scratched the surface.
We also have a $75 donation from Cosmic Approach. Hi, RPG Limit Break. Thanks for running such a great event. I'm a digital artist, so it's keeping me company all day while I work. I'm super excited for the Disgaea 5 run, so I just had to donate to make sure that I get to see my favorite games DLC get played. All hail Disgaea 4. Anyway, good luck to all the runners, and keep up the fantastic work. We have a $5 donation from Koal Lazy that says, just wishing Dragondarch good luck on the run, and also, Bubsy, 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 Bobcat.
What could possibly go wrong?
Hey, Koal.
What's up, Koal?
You still have time?
One more.
Okay. We have a $33.33 donation from Furritskin that simply says, perilous pylons,
Was it
murderous
good for you?
obelisks. Yeah, I butchered that one.
It's fine.
And baneful bastions.
I can't escape that. So for this map, I actually did need 200% Sin, but because I plumed, it was really easy to get my hands on. One of the items from this map is called the Athena bow, which is basically one of the best bows in the game. It's ridiculously powerful, especially when we put it on Reinhilde and what we do with it in the next chapter. Also, Fiona died after that map because reasons.
Because it's Valkyrie profile Covenant of the Plume.
Yeah, and Valmar kind of went crazy, thinking she hadn't really died. She's just playing hide and seek, and yeah.
Also, that Nicholas was alive too, and he runs off never to be seen again.
Yep, pretty much. All right, I need to get my notes. This is the longest menu in the game right here.
Holy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dan's looking at the notes. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff.
It's a full Excel sheet.
So 2 Damascus swords, 1 Brawl Knuckles, 1 Deluge? No, Ether Scepter. And then I need 1 copy of Dark Savior, 2 Arts of Defiance, which is up here. Where is it? Right here. 2 Arts of Defiance, 2 Ways of Dashing, that should be up here. 3 Fists of Iron, 1 Paralyzed check, 1 Freeze check, 1 Silver Helm, 1 Anointed Crown, 1 Mithril Tiara, Flame Armor, and Valor Greaves.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, I'm going to go out and make a safety save here, too, just in case, but I'm going to do most of my menuing here as well. Let me scroll this down just a little bit more. Holy crap, this is too long. All right, so I need to, let's see, use Fists of Iron on you. You need Dark Savior, which is right here. And then Stalking as well. You need Dashing and Defiance. Fist of Iron. Fist of Iron for you as well. Defiance as well. And Dashing as well. And then we go in here. We're going to equip you with the Brawl Knuckles and nothing else. You get the Athena bow. You also get the Mithril Tiara. And you also get the Paralyzed check. You get a Damascus sword. You get Ether Scepter, Anointed Crown, the Elephant's Head I got from the last map. You also get Freeze check. You're going to get everything replaced here. And then I'm going to set all these things as well. Fist of Iron for you. Let me double check, make sure. Yeah, wow. Holy crap, the menu's off the bottom of the screen. Okay.
Next time you're going to need to make the font smaller.
I probably should have.
Or just condense your notes.
Okay, I need to set ill injection to 3. That should be everything I need to do. Hello, please, menu. Don't do that. I'm just double checking because this is such a long menu and everything, so I should be good. All right. Now we'll make my save. I've actually done that menu by memory, but I do not want a chance not doing something because bad menus are. Missing anything in a menu can really, really mess things up. All right, so I need Will on Y, Locks Will on X. X. I don't know why that says that. Okay, Augusta here, Reinhardt here. There we go. Now we can actually start fighting again. And the rest of the notes, like all of Dan's looking at it. You guys can't see it. All of this is the rest of the chapter. This is just the first one.
Yeah, everything from this point forward is about half the size.
Okay, so first round we're going to do Vagr's War Cry. We're going to activate Instant Death. But now we're going to use a new character to be doing my Instant Death. The Mage is still nice, but we're going to Spell Reinforce on Reinhilda, and she's going to start doing something really special. So remember that Athena bow I was talking about? The Athena bow, whenever you hit with it, hits twice. That's its special ability. And when you have Instant Death, that happens. You instantly fill the Sin Gauge because it just it just straight up adds an extra hit for the same damage. But if the Instant Death procs, it does their max HP and damage, which then instantly fills the Sin Gauge because you did their max HP and damage twice. We're going to be abusing that on the next few maps to meet Sin requirements. For this one, I don't care about the items. I just care about meeting Sin so I don't have a Realm Stalker on the map after this. We also picked up Auguste, who isn't that great of a... He's an okay character. He has really high attack power, and he has 5 movement, but he can only attack in the cardinal directions. He can't attack diagonally at all. So his usefulness as an actual damage dealer isn't the greatest, and his weapons are pretty poor as well. So Reinhilda will usually beat him out.
Great house.
But for the most part, he's just going to be helping out by activating attacks for Reinhilda, so I can meet Sin requirements. And I'm going to hope Will's going to counterattack this swordsman. I'm going to hope it connects. He gets 3 chances at it, so there's a pretty decent chance one of them is going to hit with it. I don't care about getting Sin off this guy. I just want him dead. He's going to hit a couple of times. I think it's 3. I always forget this guy. And then, well, sword to the head. You're dead. Yeah, Instant Death is just a little bit broken. Just a little bit.
A fitting death for a pitiful wretch.
Well, the counterpoint, there's only 2 ways to get it. If memory serves, one is off of Valkyrie's War Cry, the other is from a really hard-to-find knight.
Yeah, and that only one character can equip.
Yeah, Natalia is the only character who can equip it from way back in Chapter 2. I don't remember if it's available in
never
the main
miss.
game. It might be only Tarifa game.
I think you can get it in the main game as one of the Sin rewards, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head either.
Also, it should be noted, earlier in the game, Will was kind of more brooding over his father, and he was kind of, more solemn when he'd give his, if he was the last one to deliver an attack, he'd give the voice clip of, for you, father, or the battle is won, or something like that. When you actually get onto the C ending path, like when you're locked into that, Will becomes an absolute jerk with how he starts acting.
We're more of a villain protagonist right now than anything.
Like, he knows what he's doing at this point.
Yeah, he's condemned so many of his close friends to death in particularly bad ways that, like I said, this is not a very happy
there lies a
game
great hope.
in general. It's really good, just
Even the A path is pretty dark. Even when you're like the A path, the A ending, you cannot plume anybody for the entire game. And even on that path, it's pretty dark.
yeah, it's noticeably less dark and depressing, but still
Spell reinforced.
not exactly a game that gives characters a happy ending.
So there's only one enemy left. Loxwell's going to go take care of him because instant death is still just barely active for this turn only. And that takes care of this entire map. Fortunately, Reinhilda is not guaranteed to get those instant death procs, even with spell reinforced. Her magic is not, she doesn't have the greatest of magic growth, and the spell reinforced does help and makes it about 75-80% that she's going to hit with them. But it's not guaranteed, and when she doesn't connect, especially if it's on the next map, it's a little bit of it becomes a bit more of a problem there. The next map, I actually do need 150% Sin, because there's an item I need to get from it that's called the Power Bangle, which increases your attack power by whoever equips its attack power by 25%. We're going to be giving that to Reinhilda because she's really, really good. Like I said, I'm making safety saves all over the place here because I don't trust the game at all. It does things, really bad things for that matter.
That's a running theme for your speedruns, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I wish it weren't, but it is. Okay, so this is like the only map from here to the end of the game where I literally don't have to do anything before the fight. I just enter as is. Woo for no menuing. So if you want to go over story right now, that would be great.
Really briefly, so you might have noticed things kind of jump around from point to point, but the main focus is that, well, after you make your covenant, you're given 1 year to cause as much violence and bloodshed as possible, and it just so happens to be that you're in the middle of a civil war. The Peasants' Uprising only causes more problems, which develops independently with the succession crisis and causes a lot of violence from that. And the three paths you can take, Chapter 5 will always deal with the same topic, but
any great
depending on where you are on the A path, B path, or in our case, the C path, depends on who wins the succession war and how cleanly it goes, how little bloodshed, what kind of condition the nation's left afterwards. And because we're on the C path, the bad ending, we'll see what happens there. We wind up supporting Langry, who is the older brother, who his lineage and whether or not he's truly in line for the throne is questioned by some of the nobles. Why we're siding with him, I'm not sure, but we're siding with him against his younger brother Kristoff and their advisor Royenberg.
We side with him because we're introduced to him by House Han. When they actually decide to side with you, they're like, we're going to introduce you to Prince Langry because we think he's the one who's the rightful successor, and they decide to introduce you because you've been doing so much work, basically.
Being sacrificing all of our friends?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I guess that's work of some kind.
But they recognize your power, and they're like, yeah, Langry's the one who should be in charge. We're going to introduce you to him, and he's going to... And if you can help him out, that would be great. Langry's kind of a tyrant, basically. Do everything through military force. oppress the people, stuff like that. But he's a man of action and will do whatever it takes to make his ambitions happen. Kristoff is more like a good king, but doesn't kind of hesitates, doesn't want to cause too much havoc, and it leads to a lot of inaction, which is a big problem with what's going on right now.
And it wasn't a lot of it like his advisors the ones who really are ruling it instead, if memory serves.
More or less, yeah. Also, I gave Reinhilda a paralyze check here because you saw that whirlwind attack. That can randomly paralyze, or usually paralyze. So I gave her that to make sure she does not get paralyzed in this by this one counterattack. Oh, nice dodge. You still got instant death. Good try. Good try. I'll give that Harpy props. That was a good try.
Did the Harpy learn from Griffin Bro how to dodge?
It didn't help.
I didn't say it helped. I just asked if that was something that Griffin Bro taught her, but only had to do it once, not twice.
Yeah, she tried, but not quite. It wasn't quite enough.
Power of Grandma with a crossbow bigger than Harpy.
So the rest of this map's going to be set up around not using instant death because the rest of the enemies are all immune to it. So I only need it for those first 4. The rest of it I'm going to have to do in straight up damage. So I'm going to be luring these enemies into positions where they're not going to get a chance to actually attack, but I can line all my characters up in just a way that I can get all 4 of them invited in, all 4 of them into combat. That one there could have technically reached Will, but because the enemy AI doesn't really take full advantage of its diagonal attacks, it does things like that instead. I think it was trying to go for Auguste instead, which is questionable because it could have gone after Will because he's a lot weaker.
This is actually activating something we haven't seen yet, sieges. And depending on your alignment, whether you're directly side to side, directly front or behind, front or 3 angles or 4 angles, all 4 cardinal directions, you get a bonus to how easily you can activate the attack gauge, which in turn gives you your soul crushes, and also increases the odds you get drops.
Having the soul crush, not having.
Are the weapons a man forges.
I forgot how good some of his lines are too. But the sieges aren't really used that much because they do waste some animation time before each combat, so they're only really used when they would be useful, or in this case, because it wasn't really a much better option, because the way I had a position to do that. Auguste can only attack from cardinal directions, which means I had to put him beside it, and just with the way I was positioning everybody, it just worked out that I was getting a siege out of that.
Yeah, for most of the game, you're consciously avoiding those, just because there's no way to turn off that little animation that says exactly what you just did and what you're getting as a result.
Might reinforce.
And for this one, I'm going to put, he just happened to walk to the end of the bridge so I can get all 4 of them to attack. Unfortunately, I can't have Will stun him from the back, so we're going to hope he doesn't block too much. Okay, good. He's not blocking. Oh, I got enough damage, too. Didn't even need the Soul Crush. He's stunned for a bit because I knocked him into the air and then knocked him back to the ground. And just, yeah, they kind of get incapacitated a little bit depending on which attacks you hit them with. So it has to finish that stun animation before it'll actually allow them to die.
Yeah, also just a really quick aside for those who aren't familiar with the game at all, the little crystals that drop, the blue crystals, are when you hit someone in the air, and each crystal, if you kill the enemy in that phase, that combat, you get an extra 5% experience per crystal drop.
Yes. Not really used much in the run. They are nice, but they're not really needed. We generally have more than enough levels to deal with everything, even though we do end up a little under-leveled.
I mean, assuming that Valkyrie doesn't dodge everything.
I never miss.
We hope not.
I mean, we hope for a lot of things.
Yeah, they usually don't happen. I just need one more turn to get over to this guy. I'm gonna get him down in one. You can get him down in one combat. He's really tough though. Weak to holy damage, which is why I haven't set the set Dark Savior yet, even though I bought it in the first map. Dark Savior is actually the better attack over Sacred Javelin, but I need holy damage for this one guy, so I didn't bother putting it on yet. I'll put it on for the next map because there's actually enemies that are resistant to holy in the next map. I need to get Auguste behind it, and then Reinhild is going to initiate the attack. She has the longest range. And he also resists Dark. That's the other reason I don't want Dark Savior here. Stun. Go Reinhilde first. Messed up a little bit. Reinhilde missed a few attacks. Okay, I'll do Will next.
You did win. Finishing. Grim vengeance.
There we go. Map 5-2
How
is now
does it-
complete. Now, need your Soul Crush. We don't do the mages Soul Crushes because they have a pretty long animation, even though they're usually pretty strong. They always have, like, most of the animation is not actually doing damage. It's after the after what I would normally skip that actually where the damage starts. So they usually end up with a much longer animation. So I try to avoid mage ones if possible. So there we go. I got 150% sin, so I got that Power Bangle that I need on Reinhilde. The next map has some RNG to it based on what one particular enemy can do, and he can really mess things up. I'm going to hope he doesn't, but it's complete RNG on what happens here. Okay, I'm just going to go through a quick cutscene here. I'm going to make sure I save before this next one. I probably won't die or anything. I have backup strats in case bad things happen, but I should be able to make it, but just in case. I say that constantly because this game does things a lot. Okay, you need both experts experience. I need to give you the Power Bangle. And then I need to set Dark Savior for you. I meant to save. I thought I was in the pre-battle menu. Whoops. Normally I don't save during speedruns for this, but like I said, I'm just being really cautious just in case. They do waste a little bit of time, but I'd rather have a backup in case the worst happens. Okay, so this map introduces a mechanic that we're only going to see on this one map. It's called Snow. That thing, if you live up north, you're probably sick of it.
I don't think either of us know what that is.
Yeah, I know, right? But Snow impedes your movement. Basically cuts it in half. Unfortunately, though, the dash ability is unaffected by terrain, so I can use that to my advantage. I'm going to be trying to get Loxwell down to the other end of the map relatively quickly, so I can make good use of instant death. But I do need a number of hits from Reinhilde to fill the sin gauge up. I need at least 100% here because I really don't want to see a Realmstalker on the next map. Not because it's dangerous, because I'm pluming on the next map anyway, but I don't want it there because it will initiate a couple of extra attacks, and it might actually interfere with some of the things that I'm going to try and do. So I want Reinhilde to be getting these. Oh well, that's a crit. She's dead. That one's dead. The characters actually have special special lines of dialogue if you happen to get like a crit, and hers just happens to be off with your head. So I know I've hit with the instant death when that goes off.
Is that automatic with instant? Like, is that on the same trigger that you have to? You will get an instant kill.
I believe so.
Okay.
I think so. Don't quote me on that. Okay, good. That's 2 of them. I need 3 of these. I only need 300 sin here, so it's usually not a big problem to get.
My hunger for battle remains.
But it depends on you'll see it in just a second when these enemies start moving around. There's going to be a mage right here, this guy. On the next turn, he's going to actually attack Loxwell, and he can use Great Magic, which is basically Soul Crush. And if he uses that, Loxwell dies. And it makes the fight a lot longer because there's nothing it's just complete RNG on whether he decides to use it. So I just have to kind of pray that he doesn't. Yeah. It's not the best position to be in. You need to go over and attack this archer. Hopefully Reinhilde can get the double kill here, or get the 100% sin so I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so I'm set on sin. Sometimes that archer will go up and attack Loxwell instead, and I'll just counter him to death there, and then I have to get the sin off of a different enemy. The warrior you see standing down there, he's kind of unique. He resists instant death. He's not immune, but he resists it, and Reinhilde has a very difficult time actually hitting him with instant death. I've seen Loxwell even miss it, which is kind of ridiculous given Loxwell's 610 magic stat. But I'm going to initiate the attack with Reinhilde just in case. That way I have extra chances at it. I'm going to do it with Loxwell, though, so he has a better chance. And good, a hit. If I hadn't gotten it off the archer, though, I would have tried for it right there with Reinhilde instead. And if I failed to get it off him, there's a Lancer I can potentially get it off of after that. So I have a number of backup chances. We just have to kind of pray that... okay, so right here, this is where the RNG is going to come into play. Loxwell is in range of both that Lancer and the Mage. I'm going to hope the Mage does menu magic on this first turn. And he did, good, and he actually did the spell I wanted him to. He's going to do Frigid Damsel, which has a chance to freeze your character, but I have a freeze check on Loxwell, so he cannot be frozen. So that status ailment is out of the way. So that's part of the RNG down. He can also cast Dark Savior, which will silence, which is equally as big of a problem, because mages physically cannot attack if they're silenced. But now we have to pray the Mage does not use Great Magic. And we're going to hope that the Lancer doesn't stun him. Good, no stun. And no Great Magic. Perfect. And I'm going to counter the Mage to make sure he is not a problem beyond this. Okay, so I got the good RNG here. Really glad, because this map can be a big pain if Loxwell dies, because not only do I have to revive him, instant death is applied to all characters that are alive at the time, but if Loxwell dies, he loses the instant death buff. Which means I can't get any instant kills with him, and I need him to get I need him to basically get the next 2 of them, especially farther down. I'm going to dash him down to deal with the last 2 enemies, or he's going to deal with one of them and then line up so he can deal with the other one. But I need instant death there to make that work. So the fight takes a lot longer if that happens. And that's about all there is for this map to explain. Meta, if you've got some time for donations?
Oh, baby. We have a $5 donation from Rain Saunders Jesse, also known as Bin Lord. And he says, huge love for Dragondarch, one of the most consistently fun speedrunners out there.
Oh, thank you.
We have a $5 donation from Sly Landro that just says, Dragondarch is a pretty cool guy. The end. We have a $10 donation from Eric here that says, cool to see a RPG speedrun for charity. Wishing all the runners a smooth run of their games. In lieu of animals to save, let's save Sid. Feed him some good fish. We also have a $75 donation from the Lemon Fairy. What?
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I was afraid I was going to lose Loxwell there.
You said something about good RNG just a second ago.
I did get good RNG because he didn't die.
Oh, I was going to say.
But he came really close. Another mechanic we haven't explained is that when you level up, you recover all HP. I'm actually going to have him heal himself in case something goes wrong here.
Do I have time to finish this, or do you?
Oh, go for it.
Oh, okay, sorry. Love this speedrun event. Looking forward to a lot of great games all week, and putting this towards the Makai Kingdom characters in this KF5.
How do I do this setup? Oh, yeah, her first, then the rest of them. I don't remember my attack order there. Reinhilda has a long windup on all of her attacks, so I want to make sure she doesn't miss any, because she's basically doing the most damage. So I had her attack first just to make sure that Loxwell didn't push her out of the way with Dark Savior, because Dark Savior's other special abilities that pushes enemies back, and it will knock them out of range of other attacks if you do it at the wrong time. So I wanted to make sure Reinhilda went first to make sure she hit with both of them. Okay, so we met Sin. We're good for that. I got a couple of golden eggs there that I'm probably not going to... I might use them on Will if I remember. Yeah, I'll use them on Will real quick. I also need to unequip the Power Bangle real quick. You, give me that. You need it now. Good, they're right up here at the top. Good, that should be everything for this. Yeah, just double checking myself. Okay, we are actually closing in on the end of the game. There's only 5 battles left. We got 4 more in this chapter, and then the final battle. But this is where you meet up with Royenborg. If you go the A path, you basically side with him. I need Darius on B and then on A. But in either the A, this B or the C endings, you end up fighting against him because he's trying to stop the princes from fighting. That's basically what you end up doing on the A path. But here, he's trying to stop me, so we're going to have to take him out. First thing we're going to do, we're going to spell Reinforce Will, and then we're going to have him pop Gleipnir's Bond, so everything is stunned. Hopefully everything is stunned. I mean, he's got 453 magic. That's actually pretty good at this point. Unfortunately, in this fight, you have Langry as an ally, and unlike the Protect missions, Langry actually moves around and does things. And he's a mage, so he has a lot of range, and he just wastes time with his attacks. I don't really want him taking actions, but there's nothing I can do about it. So he's just going to waste time with 2 attacks in this map. I think you can all guess what's about to happen to Darius as well.
You mean you randomly bring in a level 16 character to dive bomb in?
You know how it is. It's always the quiet, low-level ones that turn out to be your massive super weapons. You just never really hear about it.
Unto me thy power yield!
Special ability you get from him is actually kind of cool. It causes you to take 0 damage from any attack, except Soul Crushes, and then reflect all that damage back on whoever attacked you. Unfortunately, it's not very useful for the speedrun itself. But thankfully, this map works in a pretty decent way, where I move my way up here, and standing on that tile there will actually trigger the boss to move out, and it's going to allow me to get to him on the next turn. If I didn't move to that location, Royenborg would not move from his spot, and I'd have to deal with him attacking me once. Not in any danger of dying from it. Wow, he crit on that. Holy crap. Langry is angry right now. But yeah, Royenborg's going to move out because he senses danger. We've gotten within his aggro radius. He's a Lancer, so he has 2 range. So it's difficult to kind of get in range of him without him being able to attack you first. But fortunately, yeah. And I needed to actually Might Reinforce in case he procs Body of Steel, which he didn't this time, thankfully. And, well, that was Royenborg, and he's dead now. He has a special ability that can activate sometimes called Body of Steel, which increases his defense.
To see another dark day.
If I didn't do Might Reinforce on Darius, he could actually not end up killing him even while plumed, if that happened to proc, because he'd have enough defense to resist his attacks. And, well, Darius is now gone permanently, so we've got only 4 characters left. We don't get any more by the end of the game. And also Royenborg just died, but we're not going to pay too much attention to that. Alright, so let's see. You need to take this off and this off. We're going to reset you with the Magic Bangle. Ryan Hilton needs the Power Bangle back. You need the Omni check. And I need to unset Defiance on you. So this next map actually has something kind of cool that I haven't been able to show up until this point, and there's only a select couple of maps that you can actually do this on, for that matter. There has been a faster way to do this stage, a faster way that's been discovered, but I'm going to do it this way because it's actually kind of cool to show off, and it's not that much slower. And with this, I also don't know that strat that well yet. Deployment, I need you on A, and that's actually all I need to do here. Sweet. Good, we're all set. So first turn, we're just going to wait with Will. He's going to be useful on the next turn. He locks Will up. We're going to buff Will.
Spell reinforced.
Don't worry, locks Will be fine. He's just don't worry about him. I also gave Auguste the Omni check because there's a mage up on top of that roof. You can kind of see him in the upper right there. There's a mage up there who can cast a whole bunch of different stats. He can cast stuns. He has menu magic that can cast random status ailments, and I just don't want. I can't afford I can't afford Auguste getting any status effects on him. See, Loxwell is fine. Don't worry about this. Maybe he's not fine. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'll work around it. Don't worry. I got this.
You're a professional.
Yes. Ooh, Mage moved up there this time, so he's not going to do anything on the first turn. He'll probably do something a bit later, though. He likes to cast menu magic from on top of that roof, which you can't do anything about because you can't hit him up there without menu magic of your own. So this turn, since we have the spell buff on Will, we're going to pop Great Year's Bonds and get everybody stunned again. I'm just going to wait with her. Send him over here. Where are they? Right there. So there are reviving items, Union Plumes. So we're going to bring Loxwell back, and we just skipped the entire stage because now he's up on top of the wall. Because the Union Plume just checks to see if there's an open space in front of the character. It doesn't check to see what height that character would be at. So you can completely ledge skip and just put him way up here, which works exceptionally well here and only here. There's one other map I found a use for it on. It's on a different Chapter 2 route. I'm just going to wait with you. We need to get Reinhilda over here. And I'm just going to wait with you. So the boss, you can't see him because he's behind the pillar there, but he's a mage. He's just going to sit still because I haven't gotten in his aggro radius yet. No, not right there. Put you there, then we're going to stalk. I used Stalk on him a long time ago, but I haven't used it yet. Stalk makes him invisible, so the enemies can't see that he's actually there. So they can't target him, they can't do anything to him. But if you use any action towards an enemy, like you attack them or you cast magic on them or anything like that, it breaks the stealth. But dashing does not, so I'm actually free to move. I'm actually free to move as much as I want while in stealth. So it's actually pretty handy in that regard. We're going to go through one more round of actions here. The Archer's going to come over and attack Will. The Mage up there is probably going to cast a status, cast something on Auguste, but they're just wasting time with their attacks. With this particular strategy, there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to deal with it. Meta, if you have some time for donations, now's actually a good time.
You got it. We have a $5 donation from Herdia Ruffy that says, have always been an RPG fan. Glad to have found this stream. Keep doing great work. You guys have my all-out support. We have a $10 donation from Bladida that just says, bark the other names away. We have a $75 donation from Kasern. Sorry. Here's to y'all. I'm donating to name Clarth the most masculine name ever, and also to use the proper voice language for Xenoblade 2.
Always the weak of
We also have a $20 donation from DWS Gatewalker that says, you feel stronger, but still not as strong as Noob 2. Keep up the good work, guys. Really enjoying this Covenant of the Plume run. It's making me want to play this game again.
Let's see, Luxwell just needs to be on X, so perfect. For that map, I only need to kill the leader, so that's why I stalked Luxwell up there and then just activated instant death and just took him out in one attack, so I didn't have to deal with the rest of it. And the ledge skip just lets me get Luxwell up there a lot easier. This map is also equally easy. Now note, there is actually a Realm Stalker on this map because I didn't meet Sin on the last one, but this is going to be the only time I don't plume and still manage to complete the map, even without...
I never miss.
And deal with the Realm Stalker even without a plume. The Realm Stalker, thankfully, is way off to the right and is not going to be able to get anywhere near me. And because I'm stalking, even Realm Stalkers can't see you through stalking. So Loxwell is perfectly safe. I've already activated Instant Death, and the boss, she's not going to move this turn, so I can't reach her yet. I'm just going to wait. It's going to be one more turn, then I'm just going to walk up and snipe her from the back. But I need to move Will back because the other enemies that are moving over here are going after Will, and they will reach him if I don't get him over there. The Archer will primarily. So if I'd left him in the basic positions, I think those two would have actually would have reached him right there. The Warrior would have, and then the Archer would have. So that's why I need to move him back, and I need to make sure he stayed out of range of the Archer. Fortunately, Loxwell has now moved close enough to the leader that she moved out as well. And like I said, I have instant death running, so well. And that was the whole map. Not much to this one. Very, very easy map because of instant death and stalking. So I don't get a chance to save. I don't get a chance to save in between any of these maps here. But I also didn't meet Sin here, so we're gonna have 2 Realm Stalkers on the next map. But this is the final battle of this chapter, and there's one more fight after it. I need a set. Let's see. It is. We need Auguste here, we need Loxwell here, and then Reinhilda there. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to buff Will. We're going to spell reinforce him again. Will gets a lot of magic buffs in this, even though he's not a mage. But I need the Gleipnir's everything again. You're going to move up as far as you possibly can. I don't know if the Realm Stalkers got paralyzed because they're off screen right now. I'll find out when the enemy's turn comes up. Okay, so there's the leader. I just need to kill him. So he waited, and okay, he did not get... Okay, neither of them did, so I'm going to go right. If one of them gets stunned, I'll go the way of whoever gets stunned. Otherwise, if both of them don't get stunned, I just go up towards the right because he generally has a shorter attack animation.
Unto me thy power yield.
Power courses through my body. This flesh might reinforce.
Should have taken less time talking, buddy.
I was about to comment how you just cut off his dialogue.
Yeah, Loxwell's kind of rude like that. I don't remember if he can actually even reach, for that matter. I don't know if he'll actually make it over. Oh, yeah, he can. This is actually the samurai character you would see. The Realmstalkers are always based off of characters that you can recruit. So the plume ability you get from pluming Auguste here is basically negates all physical damage for 3 turns. So he's going to take 0. And going this way, like I said, over there, that's a mage, and he has a longer attack animation than just doing it with, just going up towards that Realmstalker there, since he did it physically. And, well, here's the boss, and... Well, that was a boss. He even has unique music and everything, and we don't even get to hear much of it.
I suppose I'm out of my years.
Yeah, I cut him off a lot. He talks a lot. He talks too much.
I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah.
Because of the cutscene that happens in a few seconds.
And, well, if you plume either Auguste or Reinhilde, the other one is present in that cutscene. So, yeah, Kristoff has been subjugated. I think we actually kill him, too. So, remember that story we were talking about at the beginning where we're going to go hunt down the Valkyrie? Well, we're finally doing that.
Turns out there's some small problems with hunting Valkyries.
So I'm actually going to let this CG sequence play out because it's basically the only one in the game outside of the opening sequence.
Okay.
So Will has finally realized, oh, hey, that is the Valkyrie's feather. I have finally found her. They kind of leave that story alone for a good chunk of the game, and then just kind of pop it back on you like, oh, hey, by the way, remember the story from the beginning of the game? Here it is again.
I think at this point, Aelith has given you the Angel Slayer, right?
Yep. You have collected enough sin that you have managed to forge the Angel Slayer, which is basically the weapon you will use to take down the Valkyrie. So I need to set Loxwell here, Reinhilde here. I need to equip Will with the Power Bangle. I need to set his attacks. I actually need to put open slash first, because that's how my strat works. And here we go. Final battle. We're finally facing off with the Valkyrie. Pluming is completely disabled at this point. I cannot plume anymore. Also, you'll notice I only have 3 characters. You would think I'd want to come in here with 4, but as it turns out, I don't. Oh, no. We're not moving you first. Almost made a big mistake there. I need to spell reinforce him first to make sure Gleipnirs can hit everybody. You'll also notice the characters I'm fighting against are the characters I've had in my party the entire game.
You sacrificed.
Any character you plume is present in this battle as an enemy. Thankfully, we can just paralyze all of them and run past, and they're not going to aggro. But to go back to when I plumed Lisa Lotta earlier, the reason why she is plumed over Loxwell is because Loxwell starts right next to the Valkyrie. And when you aggro her, Loxwell aggroes along with her, and you have to deal with him as well. Which, the big problem there is mostly that if I get really stupid unlucky, and I don't manage to kill her in all the rounds I have to work with to attack her, Loxwell will heal her afterwards for 80% of her HP, and she has 60,000 HP. That's like 5 times more than what Kristoff just had. So I don't want Loxwell in there under any circumstances. And now I need to start getting myself buffed up to deal with this. If everything goes perfectly, she goes down in 2 rounds. That's ideal. If not, hopefully 3. If bad things happen, well, good luck to all of us. But I need to wait long enough so Will can activate Volley's Awakening, which will be on the next turn.
And right now you're already out of all of their aggro ranges, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. I'm past all of... When they come on paralyzed, it's not going to matter because they can't reach me at this point. They're not going to bother aggroing. And I'm just out of the Valkyrie's aggro radius as well, so she's not going to do anything either. Like, I'm in this perfect position where she won't bother with me.
So the reason they were all showing up, even though you've sacrificed them, the Valkyrie has still collected your souls, so they've all joined as her Einarhar.
I need to move him here, and then might reinforce on you. I need all the buffs I can get for this. If I want to get her down in 2, I need all the attack power I can possibly get. In addition, I actually need to heal Will. Actually, I'm going to use the Sages this time. Make sure he's healed fully. And now I moved into just the right position. With Volley's Awakening active, she will actually move towards me, but she won't reach me. She's going to stop 1 square shy, and I'm going to start the attacks on the next round. Time is not until after until the screen fades to black after the map is cleared. So let's hope for no first aids and hope I don't mess anything up here, and also hope for no dodges.
Be no more.
Reinhilde first. Will is the big damage dealer here. He has all the stats right now. So Will goes second. He's going to generate just enough that I'm going to be able to do 1 more with Loxwell afterwards. You notice how much damage he did. And Loxwell's going to go last, and he's going to do a lot of damage with Meteor Swarm here. She's actually weak to darkness attacks, so this helps a bit. But he still doesn't do a lot because Will's got over 2,000 attack power right now. And now Will's going to get counterattack because he's Volley Awakening provokes, so she's always going to go after him, but his defense rating is high enough that it's not a big problem. And she did not Soul Crush. Wow, that is actually really good RNG. And she didn't proc First Aid. This is actually a perfect fight, basically.
Do you want to show off any of the...
I will in the next combat.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to show the Soul Crushes off here because why not?
You've got time.
Actually, no, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I just... looking up at the timer. Reinhilde, I probably could have done it with Will, but whatever. I probably shouldn't have looked at the timer because then I would have actually let them play out, but we're not going to because I'll explain in just a second here. I'm not going to do another Soul Crush either.
How does it?
Gets a lot of it. Valkyrie is dead.
A fitting death for a pitiful wretch.
Good job, Will. And... time. So the reason why I didn't show them off, because that's a new world record by over a minute.
Oh. Never mind. Sorry about that.
I was going to show the animations off, and I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh, my God, this could world record. Wow.
That's why you were mashing like crazy. Okay.
So, Will has now slayed the Valkyrie. I'm actually going to show the ending. That's a beautiful face for Will, by the way.
I actually thought your world record was like a 150, like 152.
No, that's the extent of the route. My record's was a 159.36, so 110 record. So we've now slain the Valkyrie, and someone's going to come down and be a little irritated. Will's like, who's there? Oh, hey, by the way, here's Freya. She's really, really irritated with Will right now.
And we realize why going on that hunt for a Valkyrie is a really bad idea.
Freya informs us that the Valkyrie cannot be killed. The body, you can kill the body, but the soul is eternal. So Will was on a quest for nothing, and Hel and Eilith both knew this the entire time. So basically, they got Will to sow a whole bunch of chaos and everything for basically their benefit. And Yeah, Will's like, you knew, didn't you? And she's like, it doesn't matter what I knew. You willingly went into this pact.
And they're like, yeah, we don't really have much of a use for you now.
So they send him to Niflheim, where he's going to suffer for basically all eternity for what he's done. So much for him. And then shows a scene back at his mother's house. There's his mother's caregiver there. The music box that his father had owned the entire time that his mother cherished just fell off the shelf for no reason. And she kind of realized, oh, hey, that's probably a bad thing. And then it explains that they instilled Prince Joshua, which is not Langry or Kristoff. It's the 2-year-old at this point, as the king, and unfortunately he was not able to stop all the crap that was going on. So another country invaded and basically took over. Very, very dark ending, and here's the credits.
This is the ending where you've become the villain protagonist.
And then here we have Odin and Freya talking up in Asgard. She's explaining what Will has actually done. And they're a little concerned about the Valkyrie because they think she lost because she had pity for mortals. And basically, when they call upon her next, they're gonna wipe her memories entirely, in hopes that she doesn't do it again.
I remember hearing some things where no one's really sure what the canon ending is, A, B, or C, but some of the evidence points to this may be a prequel, and B or C is the canon ending. But I'm not sure.
But yeah, that was actually a really good run.
I was thinking in the back of my head, nothing's everything that you needed to go right went right. But I was like, okay, how is he this far?
Yeah.
You weren't far behind.
The run went really well. The tech beforehand didn't go so well and ended up wasting all the time that it would have happened if things had gone wrong in the run.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Valkyrie Profile Covenant of the Plume. I hope everyone enjoyed.
Nice job, man.
Meadow, what do we have up next?
Well, let us find out. Up next, we have, I believe it's Shadows of Adam.
Ooh, that's a good game.
Being run by DeWolf.
Yeah, also it's a PC game, so
yeah, I got to get off this thing.
given our track record so far.
Don't break it, please.